then I don't even want to get into this discussion, but the other thing that kind of confuses things is the whole EHEX versus PHEX. So you
Well, since
basically
you brought it up, I guess we can.
Believe me, we've beaten that horse to death over there, over
that
here.
horse died a long time ago, but
well, I'm
okay,
just
we're gonna bring
referring
it back. We're gonna bring
specifically
it
to
back.
market cap.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's kind of good that at this point because we've had so much commentary, we've thought about it so much. I mean, when Richard tweeted about it last year, I think I did like 5 streams in a row, like talking about the different facets and stuff of it. I don't know, like I think I can make a compelling case either way. I know some people, they're like, hey, let's just get rid of EHEX and just focus on PX. I mean, again, a lot of it has to do with which bag you're holding, right? Like you're naturally incentivized to be selfish, right? When you have a bunch of one coin, you don't want it to go down. There's the whole, when people search for it, hey, that's the market cap they see. They're not seeing a lot of PulseChain stuff right now. There's the marketing aspect of it, but there's also the splitting buying pressure. And like all this stuff is like really real. And there's all these arguments for and against it. I see compelling arguments either way. I don't have a lot of control over it, so I don't pretend to have a lot of answers for it either. But I don't know. What are some good ways to think about it, Zenith?
I think that we've seen a progression in logic when it comes to EHEX PHEX, which is that initially we had the fork and launch of PulseChain. Therefore, everything that existed over on Ethereum got copied over. So if you own Liquid Hex, you got Liquid PHEX. If you own Staked Hex, you got PHEX Stakes. So initially the mentality was kind of like a stock split, and then oh shit, I want to say it's back in like January or something, maybe even March it was, but there was the I don't know what to call it, the great equalization where we hit the parity event where EHEX and PHEX actually were worth 1-to-1. And that was kind of a big moment. It lasted very fleetingly because there was a big spike on the charts and went back down to a more regular ratio. But then after that in March, we had Richard Hart coming out and posting his montage of he hopes that Hex everywhere is valuable or expensive, but at the same time, he believes that the market is going to find that PHEX is the superior product simply due to the fact that there's lower gas fees and that the network it is supported by was built purposely to support Hex. So at that point, I think there was the mindset change, and Richard Hart really planted the flag on that one, which is where you saw the shift in mentality and the shift in price. And since then, it's been seen that EHEX is more of a meme coin. It's entirely possible that the Ethereum Foundation might get their stuff together one day and figure out the whole gas fee thing so that any staked hex over on the Ethereum side of the chain can actually do the final calculations without costing you an arm and a leg and be profitable. But until that happens, as it stands right now, the mentality has shifted towards Hex on PulseChain is the Hex. The other one is the alternative. And if anything, it's closer to a meme coin. Now, that being said, it's not. It showed that it clearly can move because about a month ago, even 30 days ago, I want to say that the ratio of PHEX to EHEX was about 10-to-1. And if Max pulls up the Gold PulseChain website again, you'll see that the ratio is actually equalized closer to about 4.5-to-1 now. So if you're into ratio trading, stuff like that, there's absolute opportunity there. Yep, yeah. There you go, 4.92 right now. So the liquidity on EHEX is lower. If you're interested in low market cap coins and you like Hex and you want to trade some Liquid Hex or something, it's actually not a terrible option. I personally would not advise it, but at the same time, it is a low liquidity coin with a community behind it, and it actually has an equivalent over on PulseChain. So if you don't want to pay Ethereum prices to trade EHEX, guess what? You can trade the PulseChain version of EHEX on PulseChain.
So the other day I made a post about this, and I did not know the controversy that I was about to stir up in terms of the factions, because like the cool thing.
Did you step in it?
Oh, I stepped right in it.
Oh, sorry, brother.
Here's the thing, right? Like you guys have all been in this for a while. So the cool thing kind of about me is you kind of can get to see what a new person's like viewpoint and experience is just being onboarded, even though like I'm a little more like savvy in terms of crypto than like your average retail person. But like all these questions that I have, like, well, why is there two? It's confusing. Like it's split between two chains, whatever. Like this is probably how new onboarded people are thinking. And for me, I didn't realize it.
For sure.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was some big, like, entrenched thing, but I did get some good responses from the Ethereum people. And one of the ones that made the most sense to me was they're getting better rewards because there's less people staked.
That's true. Uh, Correct me if I'm wrong, or if you already know this stuff, but the way that the staking function does that calculation for your end stake actual event on the blockchain is that it has to calculate your payout for every day of your stake. So what that means is that you pay a gas fee for every day you've staked it. So on a single day, if you're making an Ethereum swap, you could maybe pay like 5, 10, 20 bucks if it's really bad. But
That's
it
every
gets
day.
awkward when you have to unstake a 500-day stake, and now you're looking at like zero point 0.1, zero point 0.2 of an Ethereum, and it's like, this is a significant amount of money. Is it
Yeah,
actually worth, is it financially worth it to literally unstake this thing, or kind of just let it ride and then to eat some of the penalties that are going to be coming after you don't unstake it for 2 weeks, and hope that the gas fees or the price of Ethereum is going to be low enough at a point, but Hex is still going to remain high enough so that you can displace that parity of the or the displacement of the price. Pretty much, it's an awkward thing, and that's where PulseChain really shines through. But
yeah.
here's the thing: if you have enough size and your stakes are large enough on Ethereum, you can overcome that gas fee, because the gas fee is going to be the same for every stake, but the size of the stake that you make is going to fluctuate. So if you have
Right.
the ability to make stakes that are large enough, Ethereum is still viable. It's not optimal, but it's still viable.
It's very annoying. I started my crypto journey in ETH and I absolutely despise it at this point. I don't touch it. I don't trade it. I don't mess with anything on Ethereum. Like I get people hating on me like to a to a degree in the Hex community because I am a Solana person too. I like Solana. It has its flaws like anything else, but I generally just stay as far as I can away from ETH. I had to make I found a old wallet the other day and it had some wrapped ETH in it, and I was trying to like unwrap it and bring it out so I could cash it out, and like it was probably like $300-400, and it ended up costing me almost 20 bucks to do. It was like I was like, what am I doing? Like I don't want to touch this.
Oh yeah, I think we've all been there. Been trying to make a swap going from some sort of onboarding like Coinbase into Ethereum on the bridge over to PulseChain. You're like, oh, it's a $50 bridge fee, but I need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like, I think one of the arguments too for EHEX is fine is, or we had there's been so many different verticals to go on this, but one of them is whales don't care about fees, right? Like if it could be the chain that the people will continue to stake on because they're getting a better deal if they don't mind paying higher gas fees now or in the future. Otherwise, if it's worth it, there's a bunch of different pieces to it. But yeah, no, you're asking the right question, man. Like all these things, I want to hear it. Like I want to know what people are thinking when they come in this community, so we have good answers. I don't want to be like somebody say something and we don't have an answer. Like, well, we should have an answer for everything at this point. We should, like, whether it's a
Right.
good answer or not, it's a different story. But we should be able to answer these questions for people, and especially if they're interested enough to ask. So it's a good
But the
one.
thing for me
Absolutely.
is like I like this Richard Hart is revered in this community almost like unanimously. Obviously, there's going to be some people that don't disagree with some of the things he says, but like I believe that Post Chain and Hex on Post Chain is his ultimate vision, and he's finally been able to complete his vision. So the people that are still on Vitalik's chain are supporting Vitalik over Richard to some extent. I
Vitalik
get
ain't
there's
bad. I
some
like Richard. Vitalik ain't bad, but I like Richard more. That's true.
right. That's what I'm saying. Like this is Richard's project. Like Hex isn't has nothing to do with Vitalik. So like if you're going to be doing Hex, I would think you would do it on the chain of the guy that created it.
Well, I would say
Makes sense.
you'll do it on the place where it's in your best interest to do so. So
But even that argument, like with the gas fees, like it makes more sense. Like you were just saying, all the
most of
money
the
you
time,
got
yeah.
to pay to end stake and all that. Like it's just, I don't
Well,
know. It
the
doesn't.
beauty the other piece too is the beauty of a community like this is we are very decentralized. Nobody, I don't know,
Yeah.
nobody's paying me to make content. At least I'll say that. And I think it's the famous quote from Richard too. I don't work for you. We don't work for him. Hopefully, we all have this amazing story and glory and get to all that stuff. But free people make free choices too. So that's why in a free market. So
Absolutely. And I would
it's
never tell anybody how to feel. I'm just expressing how I feel as somebody that's new, that's not doesn't have all the emotions tied to it that some other people might. And to me, it seems pretty clear cut, but that's why I made the post, because I wanted to see what the people on the other side had to say and what their argument was for why they're sticking with Ethereum.